So we're back. Just a little bit more delay to the 1 month delay and then the 3 days delay. It's fine. I obviously don't do this professionally. Hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, I haven't really played Minecraft in a bit, let alone work on this farm. So this is going to be kind of interesting. First time it's really been shown other than in community posts and that. So this is, I'll just run you through the farm, give a little introduction. So this has gone through a couple iterations, but it started out actually in a programming language called Julia, which is basically like a fast version of Python. And it pretty much started with, let's go to 0. Pretty much started by looking at like how random ticks work and all that, and then tried to come up with like, that's really laggy. Try to come up with the most efficient packing of chorus, because the idea with this farm is it's trying to be like obviously as fast as possible, but then also the main problem with chorus farms is that they're usually like gigantic and really expensive whilst not really being that fast. So if mine can at least be fast as well as gigantic and expensive because it's like really efficient, then that's, you know, kind of preferable. And it's also going to be like modular, so whilst you can make the full version that has like 7 layers or something, you can also just make a single layer, and that won't actually be 1/7 as fast because it's kind of a diminishing returns with the amount of layers that you get, so it might still be like 30% as fast, which is already like greater than what most people would like need. So it's like kind of got that option. I'm sure this is being rendered really nicely on stream, the low bit rate and all that. So then I went through a couple iterations once I'd found the optimal spacing. Because you have to like wait for more chorus to grow, and you can, the reason why you add more layers is so you give the chorus more time to grow. But there's a certain point where like a majority of the chorus is already grown, which is, you know, after like 20 minutes or so. So 7 layers gets you to like 25 or 35 minutes. And by then, like 99% have all grown, so there's no point in adding more. But just having 1 layer means that like if you add a bit of wait time after you've gone through that layer, you're still harvesting like, you know, most of the chorus flowers. It's like somewhat efficient. It's harvested with the TNT. It's just that it uses I'll go to the newer version. So the player, like the actual core mechanic, is that the player, they start on a llama. Go over here. Oh, no llama there. Very organized. Yeah, so they sit on a llama. And then just pretend I'm still on the llama. They go along this piston bolt, and then they just place at one of these 2.5 times a second. And by the time they get like all the way around 1 layer, I think that takes about like 5 minutes or so. So if you go down 7 layers, then yeah, that's your 35 minutes. Yeah, so yeah, the idea is you want to like minimize the amount of time, like the downtime between each placement. So at the moment it's once every 8 game ticks, because there's like 8 rails between them. It takes 1 game tick to snap. And then if you bring them closer, well then like, you know, more flowers are going to intersect with each other. So they're going to be less efficient. And you also want the farm to be self-sustaining, of course. And self-sustaining in this context just means getting back 1 or more chorus flowers per chorus flower you place. So I think on average you get like 3.8 chorus flowers back if you like fully harvest a chorus plant. But of course you have inefficiencies with them blocking each other, or TNT not collecting everything, and that probably drops it down to like 2 or so. So you kind of gotta make sure you're collecting enough flowers. So yeah, that was like a big problem at the start, was trying to find like a good balance between having them like far apart so you can get more fruit and flowers per flower you place down, but then also not too close so that they don't block each other when they grow. And that was done, if you watch the preview trailer video, you see there was this heat map that was generated, and that was made using that Julia programming language, where I got the game code for chorus generation and that, and reprogrammed it, whatever it's called, refactored, translated, ported it to Julia, and then added like a bunch of trackers to it, so it would basically simulate one chorus flower growth over and over again, and kind of like record where the most common places it goes are. So you might be able to just do the math as to how it branches and get probabilities that way, but this is like a lot more complicated than, say, like finding the heat map of a nether tree, where it's very well defined and there's like formulas and that, and it takes little deriving. Yeah, I don't think there's a single nether tree in this world, which is kind of sad, but it's fine. We move on to end trees. I might show a little bit of the other project I'm working on later, which is a playlist nether tree farm, which also has a trailer that hasn't had come out yet, so that's cool. Yeah, I kind of started working on this properly right after the SSS video, that like 30-minute video with all the animations and shit. I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? And then I realized that not many people have really looked into making large-scale chorus farms. There was one by Mr. Mister that was basically my one copy and pasted on top of each other. And it was like 2-player. There's so much room for optimization, of course, because it was made like 4 years ago now. But it follows a very similar concept to the one I'm working on now. But you can see there's a couple problems. So the first problem with this is that once it stops lagging, and I'll keep that. So yeah, the first problem with this is the spacing. They're actually spaced like kind of too close together here almost. It's fine, but you can also like fit another one here, because the chorus flowers, they grow in like a kind of diamond shape almost. So they can branch out up to 4 blocks. Technically they can go 5, but only the flower can go there. We don't really care too much about that, and it's really rare. So they branch out basically like this, in these diamond shapes. But the way I first laid out the grid was in a bunch of squares. So if you can imagine generating like a bunch of these, you'll see you end up with this kind of void space in the middle. And it just makes sense to put another one in there. So that was kind of like the first inefficiency with this design. And then the second one is the absolutely egregious amount of TNT dupers. So there's literally 1 duper per flower, which is terrible. And I mean, yeah, this is before I knew about cartless dupers and that. So you would replace it with like more modern dupers these days, but still, it's a lot of TNT dupers. Like, you wouldn't want to set all that up. So the other thing this new design aims to solve is trying to make each duper like as efficient as possible. And by efficient, I mean this duper can service about like 28 or so flowers. So if you notice, the TNT comes out here, and then it would detonate in the middle of 4. So it's getting that one, that one, that one, that one. And then if you go over a couple modules, there'll be another blast point, which harvests another 4. So that way you're still getting as many flowers as you need. And then any blocks that aren't blown up, this water here will come and sweep away the bottom block. And then we can just do this. So this will break. It will not only like break the leftover flowers and plants, but it will collect all the items too, which is pretty handy. So you don't need any hopper minecarts or anything like that, which was another problem with the previous design. So it's like heaps more efficient. And yeah, that just carries everything down here and then to like a storage. Of course, you'd want to recirculate some of the chorus flowers back to the player, which I haven't made that yet. That's like a last thing you add. That won't be too hard. It'll be a lot of building and designing and that and trying to do all the timings, but that's not like the hard part. The hard part right now is trying to calibrate these dupers so they detonate at the right heights. Because what you might have figured out by now is that there's a lot of redstone connecting these dupers. So you kind of have this top circuit here, and then you have this holding cell here, and then the observers, they kind of like pass the signal through that, and then there's like delay. And it doesn't look that complicated. And that's because a lot of the timing logic is figured out by this circuit here. And this is a really interesting circuit that varies the delay between the point at which the TNT duper activates and then the point at which the TNT is then released. So if you can vary that delay so there's a longer gap between it being duped and being released, then the TNT will detonate at a higher point. So these delays here are coded so that as each one of these activates, the TNT is detonated at a different layer. And because we're able to harvest these chorus flowers and plants really efficiently, we hopefully, and at least in theory, we can get enough chorus flowers back from just harvesting the top 4 layers. So that one, and the top one. We get enough flowers from harvesting the top 4 that then for the bottom 3, we don't actually need any TNT. Bottom 2. Wait, is there only 6 in this one? Yeah, I can count. Yeah, so for the bottom 2 layers, we don't need any TNT. We can just activate the water, and then that will get rid of all of them. So yeah, it means like we're using less TNT, so it's going to be less laggy. It's a bit less build effort because you only have to build like 35. Actually, how many of this? It's like, I think like 60 or so TNT dupers instead of like 250 or something that you had to build in the previous one. So that's always nice. But a byproduct though of this new system is, in order for the water to be able to clear the entire platform, it's got to be tilted. And because of the way each module is tiled, you need like 4 blocks in order for the end stone, because the end stone is tiled every like 8 blocks, and the water can only spread 7 blocks. So, 4 doesn't really go into 7, so you kind of gotta increment each tile into 2 lots of 4. So that way, the water can both flow all the way down without getting stuck, and at each module, the end stone is in the same place. So, I'd like to be more clear about that. If I was to tile these like steps every 7 blocks, the end stone would be like on this block on one layer, and then it'll be like moved over on the next layer, and then it might be like on the edge again. But there'll be one block where the end stone is there, and that, that's not really going to grow. As you can see, it just dies. So that means you're not going to be able to harvest anything at that layer. And then another more kind of inconspicuous detail is that if you have an end stone there, because of the way the rail snaps, the player actually snaps down here. So I don't think they're going to be able to place at that point. Anyways. So, yeah, as the water next to redstone is kind of terrifying. Especially when said water is placed like this. I really tried to find a way around having to float water like this, but there's nothing that really worked at this scale, because all the solutions involve some redstone mechanism, and not only is that mechanism kind of laggy, but it also slowed the TNT down and added some delay, and it meant that the TNT actually couldn't reach the lowest layer. So I had to go for this passive solution, which is a little bit harder to set up initially, but like not impossible. It's kind of like, you just do this. I think, yeah. Yeah, so if you like place water like that, and then at least in the current version, if you try and retract it, but the slime doesn't go back, we don't send out any block updates, which is nice. But it does mean that if you tap that, then it's gonna flow all the way down. But the good thing is that you might be thinking, well, what if a chorus plant grows to that height? And it is true that the chorus plants can actually grow as tall as this. I think they can get up to 26 or something. But because of this roof shape, they don't actually ever like grow up, because that's not an air block, and they're not going to grow like into this. And I haven't seen it happen yet. Yeah, so the updates rest water. Yeah, it's only one element of it. The other hardest part is probably placing all these rails. So this is like a demi-bolt design. There's people on Cart Tech. Forgot the actual name of the server. I think that's the name, just Cart Tech. But they helped a lot with this. I can't remember their name off the top of my head. I think it was someone called like Seal Brigade. And of course Inspector Talon. They helped with like an initial design of this, and then I had to make like a rotated design, and then a rotated and horizontally flipped design at the bottom. And then there was someone else who made this. I'm trying to remember their name again. I forgot. It's like a really fast downwards elevator. So you could just drop the cart off, like off a ledge, and then it'll fall. But the speed in Minecraft is like not that fast compared to just instantly sending them down. Well, not instantly, but you know, a couple game ticks. And so that just reduces the downtime again of when the player's like not planting chorus flowers. Yeah, cart chives. So this was a pain to make, and I think there's still a bug with it at the moment where the llama, and I think also the player, but who cares about the player, but one of them can take damage on this solar block here, which is a funny little quirk. So, I mean, it's kind of simple, like, as long as you're QCing this piston, I think that would also work. But then you're using like more dust. Oh no, scary dust. So yeah, that's like a quick rundown on the design, I guess. There's also a lot of instant wire. So there's a system that instantly retracts all of these trapdoors. And it's actually to help with lag and also rates, the water spreading and like cleaning up of all the items is split. So in each layer, this half will go and then that half. And it's a little bit complicated because in the middle, say you have like these flowers, and then you have like a row of water like that, you're going to end up with some of the items that drop on this edge here, like so, which is like fine, right? Because which is fine because we've activated this bit of water first, and now we're going to activate this side of the water. And this example isn't going to work because that water was left over. 1 sec. You see there's some items left on the ground. That's just because that whole layer of water wasn't activated. But if you only activate the water like that, you'll end up with losses on the side. So instead of activating like exactly one half of the water at one time and one half of the water at the other time, you actually activate this overlap section both times. So that way you're like almost guaranteed to pick up all the items, even if the items drop off into the other half. This is like the most incoherent explanation I think I've ever given for a farm. I'll probably tidy it up when I make the video, but anyway. So that was one part of it. Then there's this timing logic, which is just a pulse extender that holds the water open for a while. So let me know if the music's too loud or quiet. It's very hard to tell with OBS and my audio setup. Hi, sorry. Welcome. I love how you still have that frog. It's very cute. Oh yeah, and then like the last bit of cart stone, I guess, is this rapid elevator. So player just comes here, they get aligned against a honey, and then get bolted all the way up. Pretty much at this speed I'm going at now. All the way to the top here. They go on the underside of this scaffolding and then snap against that. And then there's another bit of alignment here where they go get this little boost here and then get snapped on the underside of this rail and then go around. So I could test this out. Problem is every time I like activate this, it takes 35 minutes to go all the way through, right? And tick warping only works so far. Like my computer's not like light speed. So it's just every little detail change you want to make to this farm is just amplified by like a factor of 1,000. And World Edit isn't that good here because it's built on diagonals and the selections you make in World Edit are mostly rectangular prism shaped. So there is ways you can paste stuff on a diagonally down line, and it's kind of a complicated command that I forget every time I come back to work on this project. And there's also a lot of like really finicky stuff, like these rails and the alignment of the cart. Like all this stuff down here, which is just really fun. Like that's there for some reason. And yeah, it's kind of a pain to work on, you know, like if you take, I don't know. Welcome to the world download. If you take this farm, it's like, it's way smaller and like all the changes that you make, like 90% of my time working on this was spent in here where like you can just make changes like instantly. But to make a change in the chorus farm, it's like I have to block out half my day to do so because it just takes so long. And it leads to like slower development, slower iteration and prototyping, and you got to be like a lot more careful about kind of what changes you make, and you got to think it through, and you got to take backups and all that. So it also leads to a lot of procrastination. So I'm drawing out this intro, so I'm just trying to remember where to start with this. So I do have a, yeah, that's what I mean. You use the offset marker slash stack, let's see, minus RO or something. Is that the order? Yeah. So you do that, but that's still very painful, and it also doesn't account for like blocks that would be there, and you have to do a lot of filling in on yourself. There's a lot of like manual tweaking you got to do, and also like to remove an entire layer, because the bottom of one layer is below the top of the next layer. There's always like overlap, which you got to think about. So yeah, there's a lot of that. Like even just placing a chorus flower at each one of these endstone blocks. Like if there's a way to both, let's go down. Oh, what's that? Nothing. Okay. If there's a way to copy and paste these endstone up one block, but then also change their state to like a unique block. So maybe like a diamond block or something. And then I can do slash replace diamond block chorus flower, and that would place chorus flowers everywhere, and it'll look cool. So if there's any world edit experts that know that, because you can do like slash move. I think there's like a mask or something you can do. Yeah, like this. Yeah, that would just replace it. Oh, okay. That's cool. Let me run that on a slightly smaller scale. So say I want to place an end stone or a chorus flower above this. The other way. Nah, because when you do that, sorry, you have both the new end stone that you cloned and like also the old end stone. So I would have to clone the end stone and change it to a chorus flower in the same block. In the same like command. Okay, let's try and do this. So the alignment is like 24 degrees down. Like that or something. The annoying part is though this guy, they naturally like look around, and if you look at my cursor, if I do tick warp, you'll see they move you around. So I think that's what's, because currently there's like a small chance that you can actually miss the end stone, and I think that's mainly to do with this annoying llama moving the player's cursor around. So that's where like something like a double strider would be a lot better. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And you can actually get double striders in the latest version, which is really cool. So might replace it with a double strider at one point, we'll see. Or maybe you can hold hay in your offhand, and then I'll keep it fixated. No, what do they like? Do they like hay? What are llamas like? Yeah, they definitely do like hay. But you can see it's still rotating around. In fact, it's actually going in circles now. At least it's moving predictably. I'm not even tick warping and it's going that fast. That's kind of funny. What the fuck? But yeah, you can see, look at the range that it moves the player's crosshair in. It's almost a full block, so yeah, not that ideal. That's a really funny mechanic. Okay, so do that. And the other thing, it's really effing loud. For some reason. Okay. There you go. So it's a bit of a pain to get started. And then it's... Why it's doing that? So for some reason, even though I go into free cam, it's actually moving my player's crosshair, which is always really fun. And then also stops the player planting. So ideally you do this with a carpet bot. But yeah, so the other, there we go, you can see this working now. So as the player enters that half, the half next to it starts getting harvested. So, you know, that way, the player, once they get around to this half, the last chorus flower would have been removed, and the water also would have been removed. That's the part that takes the longest to go. Because you can see here, the water's all connected, so it takes much longer to flow down. I would rotate my camera, but I'm too worried it's gonna mess up. Here we go. So you'll see here the player comes down, and they go underwater there for a little bit, but they don't get dismounted, which is really lucky. Or good timing, I should say. So yeah, they're basically playing all that chorus there. If we do a little tick warp. Yeah, see it's running at like pretty low TPS, or pretty low MSPT, even with the TNT going off, which is nice, and me live streaming, and me not having cleaned my computer in a while. And then yeah, you'll see now that this layer is going to activate, and it's going to start sending the water over here in a second. Okay, I think I know why that happened. I've blocked it off. So I think I stopped this bottom layer, or this whole half here from activating, just because I was doing some testing. But yeah, you kind of get how it's working. Oh, okay, so we have one llama who's going around everywhere. But now if we want to try harvesting, I might switch TNT damage on, which is going to be entertaining if this blows up. Let's go. That to false. And we can also retrieve our llama by hitting this command block. Hello? Stop us from placing down. Okay. So at the moment, there's no llama in the system, but the entire farm is synced not off the llama, but off just one continual redstone pulse that goes up and down, up and down. And it also gets carried down here. And the only time that redstone pulse gets disconnected is at the very bottom here. So the one redstone signal goes throughout the entire farm and gets all the way here, and then it stops. Well, I guess you can say it goes up here, but it stops all the way at the top here. So that way, the farm is synchronized after every cycle by hitting this detector rail. So that way, over time, if for whatever reason, the farm's not going to desync over time, because it resets here. And then, yeah, you can turn the farm off, in air quotes here, and there's like an up to a 35-minute delay before the farm actually turns off, which is funny, because say you want to log off the server or something, you gotta wait a bit, and I could lower that down to at most 5 minutes. I think I could have it so at each layer, there's a gate. And if the farm isn't in the on state, then that gate will be closed and the farm will switch off. And then it might also run through like a cleanup process where it runs all the dupers and clears all the remaining stuff in the farm. Or it could just keep the stuff there. It's not really doing any harm either way. So yeah, there's a couple features we can add at the end for like ease of use and all that. So yeah, at the moment the farm is just kind of running through by itself now. So I believe no TNT's gonna be activated. You'll see. Yeah, that's all fine. Hey, Omaha. Yeah, no, this layer's being activated. And this should be the last one. And let's see. So I said that this was disabled before. Yeah, the MSPT was at about 6 or so, with the TNT running. Oh, here we go. So you can see the TNT now. It's getting rid of most of the flowers, which is pretty good. There's also some work that was done to figure out the optimal height to blow the TNT at. So trying to work out where most of the kind of chorus flowers cluster together. And you'll see that the water's cleared that. Now, the TNT detonate on this half and not this half because I've got some wiring issue here, which I can have a look at fixing. Oh yeah, there we go. So I think I just disabled the mode switching for now, but we can get rid of that. And default state is both redstone block and observer spat out. Okay. So as you see there, it was in the wrong state because the TNT activated there and the water went there, and that's because I disabled it. But if I do that, you'll see it switches all the rails. So like that rail there. And then that means that all the signals from here are going to activate that half. So it's kind of trying to use the least amount of redstone timing logic for the most amount of TNT modules as possible. So like one module can reach 4 layers, and then all the modules together are reached by just these like 3 kind of different timing intervals. So it's about trying to like, even though this is a massive, massive farm, it's about like 4 or 5 times quicker than the current fastest design. And that's also like, it's a bit more lag friendly and more compact and all that. Whilst being the equivalent build effort, maybe a bit more to build now, because it used to just be 4 layers. And then I can't remember why, but I had to make it 6. I think because it wasn't getting enough. No, it wouldn't be that. I think because it was like just not fast enough. It was like 90 or 88,000 chorus an hour, and then I really wanted to get to 100 because big number. So added another 2 layers. But again, with this farm, you can make as many layers as you want, and you also don't have to make it a piston bolt. Piston bolt's only there to make it another 2 and a bit times faster. So if you want, you can make a super beginner version where it's just a single layer and it's a powered minecart track going all the way around, which you could make in like 2-3 hours maybe by yourself. So yeah, lots of work to do with that though. Yeah, and you can also minimize that by making less modules. I should probably mention that the other part of this farm that has been optimized is the actual like size of it. So length width wise. So it's designed so that if you're in this corner here, of course that's client side, so it's not gonna, anyway. I'm gonna kill myself. So many keybinds. So if you're in like this corner here planting, the random tick range is going to be covering like at the very least about 80% of the farm. So if it's 100% of the farm, then you have actually a really small area to build in. Try and find it. I think I set up a random range viewer. This here, what we had originally. So this represents all the planting positions where if you're anywhere within this purple shape at the bottom, every other, assuming this is trunk aligned, every other end stone is going to be in random tick range. And if you try making a grid pattern out of this, if you try having a minecart track go up and down, you'll soon run into the problem that these cores here, they start at a different slice on like the z-axis than these cores here. So you're going to end up with, you're going to get to the end here, and then you have to turn around, and then, well, you're not planting here, because, you know, why would you have flowers there if it's not a random tick range? And then you start planting here. But it's actually more efficient to place only seldom loaded endstone or here, and hence chorus flowers, because the player's not doing anything there anyways, so you may as well kind of take up some of that time the player spends planting with chorus flowers that are loaded like 80% of the time instead of 100. So it makes it marginally quicker. And originally, I actually made it so the player goes diagonally between each of the cores, because as you can kind of see, that lets them access more of the flowers at once. And what I didn't consider was that once the player gets to the end here, they're going to have to make like a massive U-turn, and making that with minecart tracks is quite a lot of effort. And the main thing that made me switch is because, yeah, well, you can make a diagonal track. And diagonal tracks are quicker because the spacing between each of these blocks is also diagonal. The speed boost you get from going diagonally across the rails actually cancels out exactly with the increased distance between each of the cores. So it's not even quicker or easier to go diagonal. And at that point I'm like, oh, that's stupid, because on top of that problem, it was also very hard to collect all the items here. I tried using like dispensers with water buckets and it really wasn't working. So yeah, there's a couple problems with that, but you did end up with a really sick looking array of TNT dupers on top there, which also had a holding cell design, because from the get-go I knew I was going to try and have a variable length TNT duper so it can harvest multiple layers. But yeah, you'll see I got pretty far with designing this. I worked on finding like the right width. So you see this octagon shape. The octagon shape with diagonal lines much more closely matches the kind of random tick range that the player can access. So like mathematically it looks more efficient, but practically it's just there for art, really. Although it's a really satisfying design because it's all flat and nicely shaped. Oh. Howdy, Lucas. I woke up at like 4:30 p.m. today, and was it 4 or like 5? Had some stupid thing happen yesterday. Oh, this is actually the one exception where I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'll just kind of work it out in a bit. Hopefully sometime in the next few hours while I'm streaming. And that's not good. So I don't know if I force loaded the farm. I might have just blown it all up. Very common thing with farms this big is that kind of leave them running and then you forget they're running and then you unload the chunks and bad stuff happens. That was another design that blew up. I'm sure this is fine. Because I didn't run this a second time, so it should still be like it should all be off. We can always check by looking at the Lightmatic. Oh, great. Is that one? Was that one? Was it that one? Yeah, 5th of May. That kind of looks right. 8th of May. Yeah, so this should be all fine, except there's obviously going to be a bunch of chorus flowers that aren't in the right spot. And then, yeah, I've changed that. I'll probably make about $100 over a few years after putting in like 400 hours of work combined on this in the video, so yeah, I guess 0.0002% of a million. Pretty impressive. Make a lot more chorus plants though, although I'm never gonna make this in survival, so yeah, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I think you have to like do it just because it's like fun, I guess. Yeah. Actually, you just reminded me, you can insert ads now, and you can also pause ads. I wonder if this will work. Just set up an auto clicker to insert ads every 30 seconds. Pure bliss. Yeah, YouTube's made it so you can't select what type of ads you want to put on your videos. So now like you can't deselect the unskippable mid-roll ads that like piss everyone off. Yeah, of course I use an ad blocker. I use an ad blocker on my own videos. It's on any video, it's like it's just whatever you think your time's worth. I've paid some creators before, but that's only buying like their merch or whatever. Like I bought that immune book from Kyrgyzstan. It's really sick. But clothes and that are way too expensive, trying to ship it into Australia. Yeah, good to know. Got targeted ads in the chat. Yeah, so this farm seems to be like fully working. Hasn't killed itself yet. Yeah, no, that book was like one of the greatest reads ever. That, and there's a book that Yes Theory put out. Well, not specifically Yes Theory, but this guy in it called Matt. Pretty good read too. Yeah, I've just recently moved to Australia this month, trying to adjust. I have this dumb thing called winter though, where there's only like 8 hours of daylight. And 8 hours is also the amount of time I sleep, so kind of cancels out. It's horrible. Okay, I wanna look into why this module here wasn't activating before. Because it should have been. Maybe I was like being blind. And while I'm thinking of it, I'm gonna add just a player chunk loader. So I don't fuck it up like last time. If you just send the llama like that, it'll start up the farm. And once the llama gets around to, let's see, once they get to here, this redstone line here will activate. And you see there's like some of the redstone DOS is pre-powered, so it's like less laggy because that makes some people really happy. And then that comes around here. It should be working. I'm just gonna manually activate it. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's sure that was meant to happen. Cool. So the farm, it has this self-disassembly. It's not like the SpaceX rapid on schedule disassembly because it takes like half an hour to do so. It's not instant, but you do get most of your items back. And then the water kind of like funnels it down layer by layer as well. Yeah, it's like a little known feature. I forgot to talk about it the other day. That's my bad. Yeah, that. It's kind of interesting. So that seems to be problem up here. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like you have that whole system, the TNT Jeepers, and then in order to fix this, I now gotta load like an entire backup or another schematic, and that's how you end up with like a billion farms pasted everywhere. So I guess I will do that. Get our llama back and go over here and see why that broke. But here's a villager matrix. I don't have that screenshot anymore. Oh, unlucky. You guys missed out on a funny joke. Okay, let's go again. Oh yeah, and the schematics are hella laggy. Oof. Okay. Coming for farm help. Have you tried going to WaveTech where a cubic meter resides and asking him about it? I have no idea what a symmetrical row is, sorry. Okay, so if we just turn our good old TNT jibbing off. Fix this up. You know, on any invite only. No, anyone can join. It's like just the Discord server. Okay, let's just turn this on. Oh, I might have fucked that up. Okay, so the MSPT is crazy at the moment. Should probably unload that other farm. Okay, so is any of these working? No, so... Oh, it looks like all this is not timed properly. Okay. It's funny. Ah, thank you, Dove. That was quite the project, so I'm glad you like it. Yeah, no, it was stupid. I definitely won't be doing that again. Except maybe once for this farm, and then maybe again for the playlist, another tree farm. But I'll probably stop at 3, yeah. Because, you know, imagine being a consistent content creator. God. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna manually trigger this because it's being annoying. Oh wow, I already have one set up. Oops. I've really forgotten about this farm. Okay. So... Okay, so now that's working fine. It's just when it was activated by this, it was messing up. Yeah, this farm will come in many different shapes. Probably be like a beginner version, max speed version, etc. It seems like this. Yeah, like a triangle, because in like graphics rendering, all the objects are split up into like triangles that are called polygons, and then you render those. So yeah, I guess it'll come in the shape of a triangle or many triangles. Yeah, I just like it when something breaks and then you can't like easily reproduce it, and then you actually have to use your brain. But it's like 10 o'clock at night. I should really do a stream where like wake up at 7 AM after having a triple X beer and then just go for it when I'm awake. Okay, let's just send through that. And then once it gets around to here, so if I do a little speed up because I don't want to miss it. Like things happen, they take forever to happen, but then once they happen, it's like a blip. You know, happens straight away. Like, fuck. Take trees. Okay. So that just activated something. Activated this here. Okay. Did you participate in any project servers? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say participate. I'll say I talk with the members and we like work on stuff, but I don't really like play in survival that often. Because I'd rather work on like creative projects. But also I've probably spent more time outside of Minecraft working on farms than inside this year. Just doing theory and trying to make tools to like model stuff. So it's not even like about survival or not at this point. It's just, I guess, finding applications of math and science within this game to optimize different areas of it to ultimately make something more faster and fascinating, I guess, and make a video at the end of it to kind of go through the entire process. Because there's quite a lot to this game when you do some digging beyond just TNT go boom. I've been working on this. It's hard to say because I worked on it for a lot in like October, November last year. And then I touched it a little bit in February and then nothing until kind of now. So I can't give you like a numerical answer, but a hot minute. So this should have sent a signal up here. Yeah, here we go. So this kind of activates only one of these pistons. And the pistons that is activated is determined by which one of these redstone blocks gets pushed up, which is determined by if it's this right half or this left half or the middle that's activated. And then that changes the delay. So in this case, it was this front piston, which is in the middle of being extended, it looks like. Yeah, so there's that one. So then that gets pushed down. It looks like a second signal's come through though. Yeah, that's all sorts of wrong. You see that just broke completely. That's cool. Very cool. Okay, well, I'll just take walk through that. That can happen, I think, if two signals activate at the same time. Which can't happen under normal use, of course, because, you know, the player's only ever going to be in one spot. How'd I come up with my name? It was like randomly generated by Snapchat, so a long time ago. And then originally I had a different name on this channel, which you might be able to find with the Wayback Machine. But that should not be activating. This farm's scaring me. Oh yeah, originally I had a different name, and then I wanted to change it quickly when I changed what I was posting on here. And I just saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll do. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so this is the problem with the farm. It's like you start it, and then it takes like half an hour. Well, not half an hour because I'm tick warping, but it's still quite a while to run through. So if there's like a more efficient way to test, I guess you could break it up into smaller blocks, but that's also kind of hard, and I don't want to repaste it every time. And no, it won't get laggy with the redstone dust. Like you saw it running before, it's only a couple MSBT. And that's because at any one point, only like a couple of these modules are ever active at one time. So even though there's like redstone dust galore, most of it's just not doing anything for like 99.5% of the time. yeah, like look, if I try and, I guess I can change the rendering layer. Something. Okay, that makes it a bit better. But yeah, see, it's really not that bad. 1.73, and like the baseline MSPT is even less than that. Yeah, AI word salad, although it was made before AI, so ahead of the curve. Okay, this all looks really in the right place, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a bit like Encore, actually. That, like, every time I come back to it, I have to, like, refigure out how it all works again. Which is such an inefficient way to design a farm. But, I don't know, real life stuff happens in between. Don't you hate it when real life stuff happens in between your non-real life stuff? I think what I've done before is I've cut off the redstone signal before it gets down too low. So, let's see what I have. I had red. Yeah, you might have seen me breaking this before. So if you get to a point in the farm, there we go. Yeah, say here, and if you break that, then obviously the signal will stop there. And let's put this here so I know where I've broken it. So that way I don't have to wait for the signal to get through the entire farm. So that's like one thing you can do to make it quicker to test. There's a minefield when pasting. No, there's not many comparators. There's just these and like the pulse extender really, which is good. Yeah, the main agony is all these rails. Okay, so that's all been fixed. So if you send a cart through here, okay, so that's should activate. Yeah, so that's just activated this. So that happens because like signal comes around here, pushes that up, and then it should also push something else up. So it pushes this up. Oh, okay, and then we have this circuit. So that would have instantly activated that. And then that triggers that, which retracts this. Okay, and then that seems to activate. That would retract that. Which then powers a hopper. Oh my god, what is this wiring? That's funny. And then you get a signal from the hopper, and then that powers the top. Okay, so you've powered the top there, and then you've also powered... oh, what about AI? Well, and it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually wrote a bit of AI code to optimize a farm. But it was like my AI, so it's fine. But as far as like actual player bots making stuff, it'd be very hard to get all the data together in order to make like an AI bot like that, because it's all the data is very all over the place and it's in not accessible formats, and most of it's just wrong and outdated because the game's constantly updating, of course. So you could get a proof of concept of something working, and it was what I did a while ago. If you remember on Twitter, I'd post like these screenshots of this ChatGPT monstrosities, where like I would give it some way to interface with the game, which was just basically expressing like set block commands, and then it would make something using those commands. There's definitely better ways to do that like a year later now. I think there's even like APIs that you can use or whatever. But there's I'd be very impressed if something like that happens anytime soon. Just because fundamentally the data just isn't really there to do so, you know. And at the moment, it's the AIs. They work very much within their realm, like what they know. It's very hard for them to like kind of piece together stuff outside of the box, which is also very hard for humans to do. Trying to have truly an original thought, an original idea, and then workshop that. So yeah, until there's some new, GPT-5, some paradigm shift, until there's like some paradigm shift basically, and like how kind of large language models are able to interpret their data and then create new ideas from that instead of just, I don't want to say regurgitating, but they, if you've seen the Google AI recently, it does just regurgitate shit. So yeah, it's not really at that level yet. So not too worried. But there was a showcase of Microsoft Copilot, which was really basic. It was just some guy opened up a survival world and was like, hey, ChatGPT or whatever, what can I craft with what I have in my inventory? Or like, can I make a pickaxe or something? And the bot was like, sure, you have like 3 wood, but only 1 stick. Let's go harvest this tree to your right and get some wood and then craft it, like that kind of basic stuff. So obviously it's got enough data from somewhere in order for the model to know how crafting works. But Redstone's a little bit more complicated. A little bit. And it's not just like Redstone. Redstone is like the tool you use to make the farm. So you actually have to come up with like the layout. You have to really understand the mechanics and actually go into the game code. And oh no, now we're going into game code and it's not an open source game. So how's the bot going to access that data? Well, maybe if it's a Microsoft-based bot, it could do that because they own Minecraft. There's a lot of like magical values in the game which can only be accessed if you like deobfuscate the code. So there's like legal implications as well. And like, yeah, Redstone's only one part of a farm. Like having this endstone here relative to that endstone, like the way they're all tiled, like that isn't Redstone. That's like another thing entirely. It's just farm design, I guess, more broadly speaking. So there's a lot of layers to it. So yeah, I don't think that'll be solved anytime soon. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing how AI, like the first thing it's being used for is automating all like these creative tasks that we do. Like they're not automating the boring shit. Well, they do automate the boring shit, but like not as much as we'd like. They're just automating like creating, artwork and music, and some people want to automate Minecraft stuff. It's like, cool. So that means I have more time to do like grindy, uncreative things. Nice. Did I finish Encore? Yeah, so Encore, it's kind of like in the optimization tweaking stage now. So it's about trying to make it like lag friendly and buildable and survival. But yeah, if you go on my channel, there's like I showcase one of the modules being used in the farm, and then I show it being tiled. That was kind of like when it was done. But I haven't put out any versions of it yet because it still needs tweaking and optimization and a bunch of stuff to actually like be runnable. And also there's a lot of new portal mechanics now in 1.21, which might make it even more viable for people. So I think end gateways can load chunks in that now. So that's something I want to look into. Yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I think I've seen that video as well, but wouldn't be surprised if you could automate like building in Minecraft. So like of course the creative part of Minecraft, building like a nice house or like a hotel or something. I can see it doing that. There's a lot of data out there for that, and if you misplace a block or something when building, it's not going to break the building, right? But if you misplace a bit of dust or something, it's gonna have a much greater effect. It's funny, I just misplaced that redstone block and it didn't change anything. Anyway. Okay, so now that's running. I think activating this twice is what broke it, so maybe it's not resetting properly. Okay. Yeah, the cost of getting something wrong when developing Redstone is orders of magnitude greater than developing like a building or something. But like with code though, it's a lot more structured. Like I'm literally in a 3D sandbox. I can place any number of blocks in any positions, whereas code, there's infinitely many examples of proper code, and you just copy and paste it in. Like copy and pasting in data from like Minecraft worlds. There's no like where's line 1 on this code? Where's line 1, column 4 kind of thing. It's just kind of everywhere. I think I'm yet to do any actual like farm design in this stream. This is a record. We're actually 1 hour and 20 minutes in. I might be able to go the whole stream without designing anything, which should be really good. That llama. Well, it's not a llama anymore. It probably died. Just going up and down. No, wait. There is a llama. There's... Okay, I take warp, but there was a llama and a minecart, so that's why. I might just kill the minecarts, to be honest. So I feel like there's some rogue minecart that's just going around fucking up everything. There we go. Yes, 3 of them. Yeah, Zen. This was... Okay, actually, I can't talk about the stream, but you know that guy that was yapping? That was him. that was me in this stream. What about the llama? So, the llama... Oh, I can get out of... The llama's like what you ride on. So I need to... Okay, why is that activating now? I literally turned that off. It's really funny. Yeah, so I don't think the llama's alive. It doesn't matter though, I can just like paste in a new one. But you do have to tame it and all that, which is kind of annoying. I'm actually just gonna paste in the farm again. I feel bad for my hard drive. And you also gotta load like an entirely new area every time because the farm's so big. And go here. Probably lower that a bit. Paste them in. Yeah, I'll come back as an academic and incorporate Minecraft into that course. Here's an example of a NOT gate. Here's a register I cooked up earlier. Here's both assignments in Minecraft. You can translate them into fucking Verilog code if you want for bonus marks, but we would like the submission to be in the form of a Minecraft schematic file, please. And we'll auto test it with command blocks. Okay, so we got that. And let's gotta pay closer attention to this. So that's right, we gotta fix this up because the schematic is slightly outdated. You have to see that triggers, and let's see, so this top part is activated at the same time as this other part here. And let's see, so what's that doing? That's basically powering... Oh, I see. So this is a toggle. So this switches between the left and right side every cycle. So when this initially activates, that's going to retract which then retracts this and pushes that out. So then only this side of the TNT jupers are being activated. And then we have this top signal. This is a separate signal, so that's gonna, let's see. Yeah, this signal splits, it does the toggle. Oh, hello. I think there should be more delay here. Because that's gonna activate that and then power that immediately. And then all these are gonna activate, yeah. What the hell? I'm so stupid. Why is there not delay here? What? No, there must have been delay. I just didn't save it in the schematic and then forgot about it or something. Okay, here we go. First redstone component being placed down. 1.5 hours into stream. And I think I might put it there. Yeah, that looks good. And hopefully that's enough delay, otherwise I'm gonna have to do some redstone shit. Which I wasn't planning on doing this stream. But anyway. I feel like we're tired almost. Oh, where'd you go, Lucas? I thought you were watching intently the whole time. You missed a massive rant about, like, ChatGPT automating creative tasks. One creative task of which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so then that's what was happening. So the signal was coming up here, and it would trigger these top rail lines, which would activate all the jupers on that half, and then the mode switching logic would occur, which then switches it to the left side, and then finally the bottom signal would come through and then activate the release on the left side, whilst the right side would trigger the TNT. So it would be like terribly offset. Wow, I had no idea why I made it like that. It's really stupid. Okay, so that should be fixed. Assuming this delay is long enough, which I guess we can just test here. Don't have to activate everything again. Can we go through that all again? Oh, so there's actually like a little red play bar on the bottom of your screen. And if you just like drag it back maybe an hour or so, then you'll get back to where we were. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So that just didn't activate at all then, and that's because this was being wait. Oh, I know what. Oh, this is like cool logic. I forgot I had this. Yeah, so that was being spat out because every second cycle you want it to activate, so it's actually like a double T flip-flop. Oh, sorry, every fourth cycle? Third? I don't know. But if you think about it, like, you activate this side on the right, and then you activate the left side, but then you go down one, and you still want to activate the left side. And then you go over, and now you switch. And then you stay on the right side, and then you switch again. So, yeah, after every 2 cycles, then you switch. So yeah, that's why there's like a T flip-flop here. So that explains very many things. But these should be... so they're not synchronized here. I wonder if that's because this is not wired properly. How long will it approximately take to collect resources? Ooh. Depends. If you have like all the farms to make the stuff, then like, I don't know, an hour of just organizing it all. But if you mean starting from a fresh world and making it, like a day, it's kind of a lot of stuff involved. Yeah, that greatly depends on your regiment as a technical Minecraft player. Okay, so yeah, I guess that would have only activated the top because that's the only part I triggered. Did I really just break this and then put a note block there? Yeah, I really did do that. That's funny. Okay, so let's try triggering this again. So yeah, that's why I said the default state. Now this sign makes sense. That's cool. So that's why the default state is that. Cool. And we want to activate this one. If we go up here really quickly, see, that's going to push that one down, which then triggers the middle. And okay, so the middle is activating too soon, it looks like. So you'll see it gets duped, and then the TNT falls down. So it gets, yeah, okay. So the trapdoor's opening too early there, which is kind of dumb. I wonder why that is. That could be because there's a little wiring fault. So with all of these, this signal's activated straight away. But if we go down... Oh, what's that? So just on this one, there's a... So I activated this, and then I'll push this up. Like this delay here, that's for the water logic. That's not what we're focusing on at the moment. But all this does is that goes up there, which then a little bit of delay, but then this deactivates. It's like 3 redstone torches there, but that would retract. That would then turn off only that front piston. But this circuit here only activates at the very top for some reason. It's like a separate thing. Why did I design it like that? Yeah, so then that triggers that. Yeah, because that comes down. There should still be this entire delay here. Like somehow this is activating immediately. Okay, I'm just gonna activate this again. Yeah, see, look, that gets pushed up and then down. And then that sends a signal over here, that retracts. That triggers that, and then we have one signal there. And then this redstone line depowered, so now that piston's retracted. So all 2 of these here are extended, which means these won't get pushed down, which means the signal won't travel along either that row line or that back one. Okay, so right here, this is all activated. But then the TNT duper... Is this just gonna work now? And it didn't work. That's lovely. Now it's working. Woo. Don't you love it when it like magically just fixes itself? It's cool. That's so cool. It's really cool. Yeah, no, you can work on your approach method. Let me know if like anything I can do to help. Well, I haven't heard anyone called it like approach procedures before. Normally it's just like pickup line or something. Yeah, you'll see now all of these are pushed forward. And that switches. Oh fuck, it still switches too late. Oh, you still have your virtual plane stuck up on your wall. Pretty good setup. Yeah, I think this needs more delay. Oh, you got a new one, like just Microsoft Flight Simulator. DCS. Oh yeah. No, that's a strat. I can do my own Minecraft parkour though. Like, look at this. Oh shit. Yeah, this actually isn't the best redstone for doing parkour on. Normally like computational redstone's pretty good for it. There's lots of like logic gates to jump around on. Okay, let's do that again. Yeah, there we go. Whoa. That's detonating really low. Yeah, so for some reason, it's now detonating right below that water. Which, actually, that wouldn't break the farm. So this farm's designed that it will work if the TNT... Because, like, say you have a chorus flower that, like, generates all the way here, and then it blocks the TNT. So, like, the TNT gets stuck there and blows up. The TNT chamber's designed so, like, the obsidian shields it, so none of the farm can break at any level, which is good. But, I mean, it shouldn't be detonating there in the first place. No, I've seen that. I don't even bother to, like, edit out the mistakes. A little bit shad. Okay, let's see if this is still detonating at the wrong spot. Yeah, it is. Okay. So that means the signal is being held on for a bit too long. That makes sense because I don't think I've properly tuned that frequency yet. I did not know that. Okay, so that just means that the delay here is too long. So I guess like tweak it a little bit like that. I don't remember that delay being an issue before though, so maybe I just didn't test it properly. Okay, so now that's going to activate this side. And you'll see it's now detonating a couple blocks lower. So we actually want to add more delay. I was being stupid. But that presents a problem because I can't actually add more delay from here. Which is really stupid. I swear I had this figured out already. I had like the perfect amount of delay. Well, in any case, I can just do this for now. And yeah, the good thing about doing all the wiring timing logic here is that I don't have to add like this timing logic for every individual TNT duper. Like all of that's just handled right here. Okay, so now we have a little bit more flexibility. Okay, and I also want to do it like that, and then, yeah, that'll activate that, okay. But I might just have it in that mode constantly. I'm not bothered in mode switching at the moment. Did you know that you can make a copper farm? One zombie. Yeah, but I don't think that'll be too fast. If you mean like the one zombie and then it calls for like reinforcements, I am aware of that design. But a single zombie on its own ain't gonna do too much. Okay, that's still being a pain. It's detonating a little bit higher. Maybe. Yeah, it is. So it seems like every tick I add raises a blast height by about 2 blocks. Which really doesn't seem right at all. I mean, I think because it's at the top of the TNT's trajectory, it hasn't, its velocity isn't like high enough yet that adding delay significantly affects the drop height or the blast height. Because once it's going much faster, a delay of like 0.1 seconds is going to be a lot more significant than at the start when it's just started accelerating. Which does mean I'm going to have to chain probably a couple more of these. Which isn't as elegant anymore. But yeah, I don't think Ian's going to be making a tutorial on this now because of these extra repeaters, but that's okay. We'll make our own. Yeah, let's just go for the extreme. Let's just add like all of that delay, see where it goes. Which side? This one. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now it's all the way at the top. So it's got to find like a little middle ground. I think the best height to detonate at was like these measure blocks here, which is like 10 or so. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 10 blocks. Okay, that's looking a bit better. And then if we just knock off, say, an entire repeater. Waiting for this particular farm to be built because my main goal... Oh, to get every item. Well, it's a good challenge. Especially if that's all in single player. Most tech servers don't even have farms for every single item, so... I mean, with auto-crafting now, you can just make like 5 farms and then auto-craft everything else. So there's no point making a bowl farm or something, which is really sad. Or an iron bars farm. That one actually hurts the most because the iron bars farm was like the only useless farm I made that was actually quicker than like an iron farm counterpart. I just saw TNT detonate up there. What the hell? Yeah, what? Okay, it's been double activated now. Because the iron bars farm at like max speed would run at 32,000 iron bars an hour, which I think was equivalent to like 12,000 iron. Which is, you know, when you consider a max speed iron farm module is like 400 iron an hour, you'd have to make like a butt ton of these iron farm modules just to match one of them. On the nether tree farm. Ooh. Yes, I'm doing engineering at the moment, and by default also means a bit of math. And I learned computer science because I want to be able to do Redstone a little bit better. And comp sci kind of goes into some logical stuff and helps you code. And as you might, because you watched that like self-sustaining video, you might have realized that a lot of programming actually goes into designing these farms, surprisingly. I would get up my code editor and show you code, but that means going through my file system live on stream, which I don't feel like doing. But you can just go to my GitHub or something and see there's like many thousands of lines of code that have gone into all these farms. And like the code isn't visible anywhere here. It's just more kind of getting that background knowledge of what design is actually optimal and trying to mathematically or simulate, like mathematically prove it or simulate it and show that it's the best. But with farms as complicated as this, often like the best solution also comes with a lot of caveats, like it might not be possible to build in survival or something, or it's too laggy. So then you got to make trade-offs, and those trade-offs can sometimes be like arbitrary, and then it's hard to define if this design actually is the best, what even is the best. If it's not the fastest design, is it like the fastest somewhat, but then it's also really efficient, or is it like a really cheap design that's relatively fast for its like kind of complexity? So it gets a little bit blurry. But for that self-sufficient nether tree farm video that you watched, I can very safely say that it's like, you know, the fastest self-sustaining single core nether tree farm that you can design. But you can go above it by like maybe like 5%, but that's not by making fundamental changes. That's just by maybe improving like the efficiency of the blast chamber or something, you know. But the actual piston layout and all that was kind of mathematically made up. Yeah, the iron bars at the end island. There's a cool video I might have made a couple years ago about it. In cybersec. Oh, sick. I'm thinking about doing cybersec. I was gonna go into AI, but I'm kind of moving against it at the moment just because I don't really like the direction it's heading in. And you might be like, well, hey, why don't you go into AI to fix the direction it's heading in? But my God. I'll just be assigned some role by management to increase LLM efficiency by like 4%. Don't really want to do that. Would rather work on like quantum cybersecurity, because when quantum computers come out, it's going to be all these new algorithms that just break our current encryption, which is kind of dangerous. And every company on Earth is going to want a cybersecurity professional that can deal with that. So there you go, giving away state secrets. But. And yes, what Smith said, the courses for AI at the moment at university aren't that high quality because it's all new and rapidly evolving. So that's like another thing to take into account. Okay. So that's detonating at a much nicer height, maybe a single block too high. But then just for fun, does seem to be activating twice. Wonder why that is. Wait, only on okay, I'll take freeze so it's easier to see. So there's a bunch of powered repeaters right now. So this is like the leading signal that activates a TNT duper, and this is a following signal that activates this latch, so it releases a dupe TNT. And you'll see that there is a following follower signal, which really shouldn't be there, but that's only on every second module. So, however these are designed, there seems to be a rising and falling edge circuit signal. Like, that's really weird. Because that looks to be the same to me. Oh, that's hilarious. Wow. Okay, I'll see if you guys can guess what's happening here. I'll just leave this up on screen and read chat for a second. Yeah, pretty much just going to university to make better redstone. And vice versa. Redstone's helping a lot with like digital circuit design, funnily enough. Oh, welcome back. Like, look in the chat, Lucas. We've missed you dearly. Especially Dov. What editor? Like for like video editing? Sorry, I don't remember what the context for that was. Currently studying comp sci and wanna learn redstone instead of looking for tutorials. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap. Yeah, so the problem with this is that for some timings, this piston here is extended. Well, that's gonna... Cool. Oh, I mean, not even for some timings. Just for any timing, this piston's gonna extend and activate that note block, which sends a signal that we don't want. So... That's stupid. How have I never noticed that before? I mean, the one way you can fix this is you can see that this instrument is a harp block, but then if you have an iron block under a note block, it changes to an iron xylophone. So what if you do smooth stone? Now it's a bass drum. Glass. I don't know what would generate a harp sound, but that change is bad, because if you make that change, say I change this to like, I don't know, a piece of wood, and that makes a harp sound, then that means that if someone makes this and they don't use that specific block, then the farm's going to break. And I mean, it's kind of a common thing to do. People like to swap out the solid blocks in a farm with like their own type. And 99% of the time, it doesn't matter if you use an iron block or a stone block. But here it would. So another thing you could do is you could replace this with a trapdoor, which is probably what I'm going to do. The only issue with that is trapdoors are pretty noisy and a little bit more laggy. Now you could also move this all back one. So I believe you could do that. And have the note block there, and you could power that. That would work as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Hey, welcome, Froggo. Sorry, I'm not a frog anymore on Discord. It's a big change I had to make. It was like coming back, posting a video after 6 months, got to rebrand or something, show we're back. We're not really back. It's just one video. But I got to show we're back. Like, I actually made that icon like 3-4 months ago or something, but the color grading was off because I had a weird setting enabled on Adobe Illustrator. And it was like, I kind of didn't want to use it. And I just did it. I just fixed it, you know. And yeah, I think it's okay. It's a bit less noisy. And there's not an 11 anymore, because that's not in my channel name anymore for like, as of 2-3 years ago. What's it called? Perf neighbors. Okay, so. And yeah, so what happened to the 11 in the logo? A bit of lore for you. Is if you look at the border of my channel icon, it's like pinkish, pink-red kind of color. And that's what the 11 used to be colored as. So you can imagine the 2 vertical lines of the 11 being like kind of extruded around the border of my new icon. Being like twisted around in a circular fashion. It's kind of what happened. So you could go onto PowerPoint and you would make like a morph effect transition and it would look like that. Except it wouldn't look like that because I tried it and PowerPoint wasn't awesome enough to notice the similarity in the icons. But like, you can imagine in your head. Prefer the old one. Well, the old one, I still use the old one on, I think, my Planet Minecraft account, actually. There's no way I've updated that. If you really want to see an OG old logo, you can go there. So yeah, that should have fixed it. Yeah, so that's detonating. Oh, it's probably still detonating a block too high. But there shouldn't be another signal coming through. Yeah. Oh, Maybe, oh, the back one. Yeah. I guess I forgot about that. Okay. Let's just modify this a little bit. Oh, okay, that seems too low. So yeah, obviously if you're detonating it too low, well, this glass here is going to swiftly turn into air. And that's actually why I've reinforced the corners here with like these stairs. Simply because like the corners are a bit closer to the blast points in this glass. But if you lower the TNT any more, then it will start breaking glass, which ain't good. And I did make a design where the water covers the glass as the TNT detonates, so you could technically detonate the TNT like here and it'll be fine. But the issue of that is, of course, for the water to cover the bottom completely, it would have to break, you know, all these chorus flowers. And then these break really quickly. So there isn't like a time period where the water is like all the way down here and the chorus flower plant is still like alive. So yeah, that idea didn't really work. Would have been super elegant though, because then like the TNT would essentially never be able to accidentally blow up the farm. And it still isn't, but it just requires a bit of redstone trickery to ensure that it doesn't break. So that looks pretty chill. We could... Yeah, where's Jack? So you always got to keep track of Jack, because he tends to wander around a bit. He has like one singular job, and that is just to chunk load the farm. And he often fails at it. Also, I'm just thinking, the last time I streamed would have been a year ago working on the self-sustaining tree farm. And that was when I had like half the subscribers I currently do. And in between that time, I've posted 2 videos. So I don't know what's been going on YouTube. I guess the algorithm liked the self-sustaining video. But it means there's a lot of new people probably watching, so welcome. Wow, that's funny. I already have blocks to select the farm. Cool. Well, now we have more. Yes, welcome to all the new people watching. Sorry you clicked on this stream. It's probably the most disorganized stream you'll ever see, where I do very little work. Normally I do more work, it's just I'm not in farm design mode right now. And this is a really big farm. Like if we were just making like a redstone touchscreen or something, then I'll probably be able to do much more work. Yeah, no, last stream was a year ago. You can check on the channel. I just had a look. Another touchscreen. I mean, there is calibrated skulk sensors out now, so. Was that before 1.20? Yeah. This should be fine. So there was this touchscreen, which I put a 1-minute video out on. Cause let's see. Yeah, I really tried to make a touchscreen that was 1x1 tileable. So each pixel is like self-contained. How does this work still? I think because there was a bug in the game, which this touchscreen, I put like a video out on it and it linked to the bug, and then that bug eventually got fixed. Wait, are they even calibrated? Oh yeah, there's not even calibrated sculk sensors in this. Yeah, that's really sad. I don't have the pack enabled. Anyway, you can see the video on it. I kind of just broke this world. But there would be calibrated sculk sensors here. In fact, they'll be all along here, like this. And they'll be filtered to only pick up like player footstep signals. And it's literally just, it makes a clock going up here. And then that constantly powers this redstone lamp. But I believe with the copper lamps or something, you could make it even more compact, which is kind of exciting. And with calibrated sculk sensors, you can do a lot of filtering. So I think with all the new tech in 1.21, you can make even cooler touchscreens, like more compact and faster and that. But yeah, I can't really demonstrate this at the moment because I'm in 1.19. That's right. I'm not even in 1.20. It's because I'm kind of stuck on 1.19 for a while because I made a mod that I used to debug stuff, and I don't want to update it to other versions because it's a pain, and I don't remember how I made the mod in the first place. So I have to like relearn that. But yeah, I guess I'll have to update sometime soon. Big news. Okay, so could just try this out now. I guess we gotta save it. Yeah, the farm by itself is tileable and all that. I can't even remember. Did I just save that or not? Yeah, I did. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, I do not think that saved properly. Bye, cheese. Enjoy your flight training, although you should be going to sleep soon. Okay. And you gotta remember that Jack's gone now, so... because he doesn't persist when you leave and re-enter a world. I honestly thought that Dash Pums was the slowest gold farm. Slowest gold? Didn't he make the fastest gold farm? Oh yeah, got the boilerplate. There. Yeah, Java's like still a language because it's just used in everything, I guess. So it's hard to update the boilerplate and all that. But I think in Java now you can do like hello world a lot easier without having to do like public main string void args, private, whatever. That's amazing. He made the slowest one as well as the fastest. Wait, what does the slowest one use as a concept? Is it like converting pigs to zombie pigmen in a thunderstorm and then killing them? Oh, okay. Nice. That's cool. A good concept. Something people aren't thinking about for witch farms is breeding a crap ton of villagers and then converting them to witches with lightning and then killing them with looting. Obviously it would only work during thunderstorms. but it's just like with raid farms currently non-existent, it's like an interesting alternative, I guess, that could be quicker, because there's not really a cap on how many villages you can breed, but there's a very well-defined cap on witch hut spawns. Okay, I also want to check, sometimes redstone can be weird, and it looked like that the height the TNT was detonating at on this first one was like a lot higher than on the other ones, which would make sense, because as you can see, the wiring for this first module is a lot different to the other modules, so like additional work needs to be done to make sure the timings are the same. So I'm just gonna warp through this and rerun the simulation. No, the materials list is super cheap for what it does. We can just run through it real quick. So we got materials list. Yeah, so we got 90,000 glass, 36,000 solid blocks. Again, that's easily farmable. You can ignore the tinted glass. That can also be solid blocks. Or that can even be slabs. So add on like 18,000 to that. 10,000, like 15,000. Fuck. How's the math going? Powered rails. Yeah, that's a bit of a trek. Obsidian. Also a bit of a trek. And then each redstone component is like, you know, kind of 10,000 or so. But like, it's all farmable. It's just the only issue is placing it all. And then you can get the command blocks by going back to 1.12 and doing falling block. Yeah, the slime's crazy though. 12,000 plus 18. Yeah, 10,000 redstone dust. I mean, it looks like a lot, but again, this is the redstone dust. Think about it. This redstone dust here activates every 30 minutes. And in that time, it changes, well, activates twice every 30 minutes. It goes from being state 14 to state 15. Just like that. That's all it does. It's not like it's being constantly powered on and off or anything. It's very, very chill. And did I break that? It's very chill, you know? So you have that, and then you also have this kind of redstone dust, which is like being activated a little bit more often. But the point is each dust you see is only being activated once or twice every half hour, which is very little compared to, say, if you had it like in the middle of a tree farm core that was activating 5 times a second. And I mean, I'm running the farm right now, and you can see it's at like 1 MSPT, which seems really low. I can turn this on, get a quick little look. You can see it goes up to like, even with the TNT and all the water updates and everything, it's like 5 or 6. And if you take away the baseline MSPT, it's only about like 4. No, not lag spike every 30 minutes, no. Because each individual dust is being activated every 30 minutes. But at any one point, there's always dust activated. It's just very little. And that's not a problem. Like, dust is only a problem when you start not just spamming it everywhere, but activating it everywhere. That only broke because I broke this here. And let's do that. And yeah, that's not what this farm is doing. Also, there's no like dustless solution to having these trapdoors open and close. Like, the alternative would be you have a bunch of observers that then pulse like pistons with redstone blocks that then power and depower this. Or you have some like RS Norlatch system with a bunch of droppers all the alternatives would be laggier than that. And then like down here, you want the redstone dust, because the redstone dust carries with it information about the actual state of the farm. Like if you have, I'll just give a quick example. Like so something like this, and you have redstone dust or an observer. Like this is a dustless solution, and it's good for a lot of things. But you can see once I've turned the farm on, you can't tell anymore if the farm's on or not. Like you don't have that information. Even though it did send like an initial signal, and you can do a lot of redstone with that. If you have something like this, you can tell at any point that the farm is still on, because the redstone dust can hold that value. And that additional property is sometimes really useful. Mainly it's really useful in like reliability, because it holds its state. It's like if you know, I say if you know digital circuit design, maybe like 3 people into digital circuit design, is the difference between like a mealy and a Moore circuit. Like one of those, I think the Moore, its output is stored as, it's like stored every clock cycle, so you can like read from it whenever you want. You can like access that, whereas like the observer solution, you know, once you've sent that input pulse, it's just disappeared and you can't see it anymore. So there's, you know, when you're designing a farm, it's not just lag you got to consider. It's a lot of things, and with a farm as big as this, you really want it to be reliable, so you're not rebuilding the entire thing. And in this case, having a constant pulse that runs through the farm, that's like stored in the redstone dust, makes it so it's just more reliable. It's hard to explain. If you've designed something before, you'll get it. And the solution can actually be also less laggy than like a dustful solution as well. The fast way to make a lot of farms. So go to the Archivist's YouTube channel, and there's a playlist called Must Build Farms, and it's like a community curated playlist, and it's ordered in a way that you build the farms in the order they appear in the playlist, and it's like kind of like the most popular, most optimal way to go through them all. And that's pretty popular. It's got a lot of like the most up-to-date kind of designs for new worlds and that. And it's all like beginner intermediate farms. There's nothing crazy like this on there. Yeah, there'll be a lot of ENX04 designs in that as well. Okay, so now I want to test I want to test what height the TNT is detonating at, because it looked like it was different for this first layer. We can go like that. Two, three, four. So hopefully it should be detonating about at this height. We'll see. Okay, so it's kind of going off here, which is a little bit higher than I wanted. But I think that's fixable. It's just this TNT could be detonating at a different height as well, given the way it's like wired. Okay. So that's also 2 blocks higher. So that seems to be consistent, which is a good start. Because if it was wrong and inconsistent, then we have to fix like 2 problems, but it seemed to just be wrong. And I'll just test this one last one, because there's a chance that could also be far. Okay. Okay, so that was kind of like here. Um, yeah, I think it's mostly fine. Okay, that activates with 2 observers of delay. This dupes with 2 observers of delay. That should be fine. Yeah, that looks right. But detonating at that height, I don't think that's going to cause any issues. Like, you can afford, like, you're not losing any speed with the TNT detonating at the wrong height, because at the end of the day, the water is what deletes all the chorus flowers and plants and turns them into fruit. The only thing that the TNT optimization is doing is just ensuring you get more chorus flowers so the farm like stays self-sustaining. That's kind of all I'm doing. So now there's one other thing. So I guess talking about raid farms. No, they buffed witches quite a lot. Now I think you can get like 30,000 redstone an hour. Because like raid farms were stupid broken before, so I'm not too concerned about them being nerfed. Does suck that anyone who was working on raid farms now can't really work on them anymore because they don't exist. I guess you can make like really slow raid farms, so you can look into making a farm for that maybe. But it's a bit unfortunate. I know if somehow nether tree farms were made impossible to make or like obsolete or something, that would be a little bit disheartening. So like Bread and that, who work on raid farms. But Bread's also expanded a bit more recently. They're doing a lot of different types of mob farms, so they should be chilling. Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of lengthy, but this first layer, it's got TNT duped at it, and the second layer has TNT, and so does the third layer. And then I believe when I was working on this most recently, so 3 months ago, so not that recently, I added this fourth layer because I did a little bit of testing. I'm just remembering now, I did a bit of testing, and the TNT wasn't efficient enough. It wasn't detonating enough flowers, so I had to extend it down, so it's now blowing up this fourth kind of area, which is a bit of a worry though, because in order for the TNT to reach that layer, okay, this timing's gonna be kind of tricky. So yeah, in order for the TNT to reach that layer, it'd have to drop down instantly. So if I get rid of that, we do that, that's gonna, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, let's just trigger this, and you'll see what I mean. It's gonna go down, down, and then yeah, you see it detonates pretty much all the way here. I can teleport down so you can see that easily, E. There you see. Yeah, see it's detonating like here. You can even do the log TNT command, that's probably better. And then we can teleport to where it's detonating exactly. Yeah, look at that. That's at foot level. So if the TNT is detonating there, and most chorus plants grow a couple blocks below that, don't know if that's going to help with efficiency at all. But yeah, if we just grow a couple of these, you can get an idea of the average height that they grow to. Let's just do this. I should have done them all in the same height. So you can see there's a couple that kind of get to its height, but it's, yeah, you see it's way more efficient to detonate like kind of at this height than all the way up here. And there's not really much I can do about that height issue though. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work still. Also, it'd be very hard to time this drop. What are the approx rates? Oh, it's in the thumbnail, Dove. It's like mathematically calculated to be 100,000, also tested to be 100,000. So I'd say like probably 100,000. Like fruit an hour, plus a couple extra flowers, but there probably won't be that many. Yeah, so the way this is going to have to be timed is the trapdoor is going to have to open as the TNT's like inside of this block falling. And there might not be a timing that exists for that kind of precision in terms of like redstone ticks. So if we do tick freeze and we go that, you'll see this activates too close. What if I have carpet, repeater half delay? Okay, so that's enabled. Cool. If we have something like this, building block. Yes, that's still too quick. Okay, that's getting a bit better. The other fundamental issue with this is that I kind of want the TNT to collide with the trapdoor and kind of like cancel its momentum in a way, and that will align it. If the TNT is left to like free fall through everything, there's a chance that it could fall all the way down and kind of like land on the edge of one of these blocks. It could have like a weird angle, and that would be really bad. So that's like a slight worry. Use as much chorus fruit. No one probably. People just make stuff because it's for the feat of it and the sense of accomplishment, and also it's cool to show off like this cool farm they made to others. Like I'm never gonna make this. I don't need chorus fruit. I don't need anything. I don't even need to play this game. You know, like just doing it for the fun and the challenge of it, for the spectacle. And yeah, you can also use it to make end stone and rods, which is really important. Like, they're crazy. I can't access any of your tree farm designs. Yeah, they're on Planet Minecraft. They're on 2 different sites. Which design were you thinking of in particular? I just do Discord because it's like I can update them there, and I can put more info about the farm and show images and all that stuff. Oh, that was pretty quick. Oh, TP. Okay, so that timing actually worked. That was lucky. I'm just not sure it's going to be that reliable if the TNT isn't left to sit. So that delay is seven game ticks of delay, which is really nice. It's so good. I love it when the delay is like an odd number of repeater ticks. Like if we had the copper bulb, that really wouldn't be a problem. But maybe this would also work. Please tell me this timing works. Ah, there we go. Perfect example. Thank you, game. Yeah, that. See, that also detonated at 166.2, but it has that alignment issue. Very fun. Did you just search like Nicolia 11 on Planet Minecraft? IBNM 99. How we doing? Yeah, if I set this up on a clock, you can see how often the TNT kind of messes up. Wow, it's pretty rare. There we go. And that's just at that layer. It can also technically happen at this layer. Yeah, I'm going okay. Just sorting out some shit. What other technical Minecrafters are streaming? There we go. See, so it broke there. And each layer, it's going to be... Oh, and there. Great. Each layer is going to be like less and less likely to get caught on the edge. And that's because like the angle at which the TNT has to fall is a lot more acute. It's a much sharper angle. But it's still possible. So if anyone knows of a way to align the TNT... Oh, Brad did a stream. That's cool. Yeah, thank you, Dove. Yeah, we'll see how we go with it. It's definitely a monster. This stream honestly was more just to like kind of explain the farm a bit and give everyone a bit of like familiarity with it. I don't think I'm going to fix or do anything groundbreaking at the moment. Forest flower collecting. Yeah, so the fundamental way this farm works, and what a lot of people don't suspect about chorus flowers, is that you can collect the flower in a lot of ways, one of which is with TNT. So you can throw snowballs and that will drop these flowers. But another way you can do it is just, well, I don't have this disabled. You can do a big TNT blast and then you get flowers that way. So this farm, it takes a bunch of like these flowers and it drops a TNT in the middle of them. And then that will drop a bunch of these flowers, but you'll see there's still like a lot of blocks left over. So the farm also drops down a bunch of water, and then the water kind of clears up the rest of the remaining blocks and also collects the items. So that way you get like 100% of the chorus plant. And then it just does that a whole bunch of times for, I think, like 4,000 chorus plants. That's how many endstones there are here. So it's pretty hectic. Yeah, but this TNT issue is kind of haunting. Because most alignment methods, like say use powdered snow or something. Actually, I think I know of a way. You just need to have this water like be flowing somehow, and then that can like push it to the edge almost, against one of these blocks and align it. Like it needs to be flowing, but without actually being able to move the TNT. I have to tick right up. Yeah, thank you. So if you have something like, not sure if this exact design is gonna work. Oh, there we go. So yeah, you can see if you have the TNT like this, it will get pushed against these like ladders, and just activate that, and it'll get aligned on the edge. Because yeah, thing about TNT is it's not exactly one block. It's 0.98 of a block wide, which means it can technically fall a little bit to the right. So as the TNT like falls down, it can drift slightly to one side, and that's really, really bad, because it means that it can, yeah, catch on the edge of that block down there and blow everything up. But if you align it against a block, then it'll have no more velocity going to like one of the sides, so that can't ever happen, and it'll just fall straight down exactly. Welcome back. I thought taxing would be like, I guess it wouldn't be the first thing you do, because you gotta do all that pre-planning. But when I get in the plane, it's like the first thing that happens is the guy does a little taxi. Is there like a reverse gear for some planes? Because they have like the towing cars out the front, and I wonder if that just carries them. Reverse thrust. That's cool. So you could maybe use something like that. We can test this out. Yeah, someone let me know if that breaks, if that blows up at the wrong spot. Right, so you can't use that to go in reverse. So is the reverse thrust just for like maneuvering in the air then? Yeah, okay. Oh. Wait, so only once you've landed and you're trying to slow down? Oh, I actually read that as kilotons for a second. Okay. Like, that's a very heavy plane. Right, so what's landing roll? Like, do you mean landing roll or landing roll like spin? Step 1, check flight plan. Yeah, that'll make sense. But like with the weight, how do you dynamically check that? Because what if you have like, I don't know, maybe a bunch of people from California or something, and maybe their body mass index isn't average, let's say. Do you just like account for that if like some average metric? Oh yeah, MBNet. I quote unquote play on one. I mainly just design stuff in the background with them. I don't really go on the survival. Okay, also this solution actually works without adding any extra blocks, which is kind of nice. The only thing is this observer needs to power that somehow, which is a little bit troublesome. Okay, that's like a dozen or so little things you gotta do. They're very different to just hopping in your car, checking you got fuel, and then heading off. Is that just for the little planes you're flying at the moment? Like the props? I imagine there'll be like even more stuff you gotta do for like big commercial jets and that. I guess if it's just theory, you could also cover the big jets now. Yeah, okay. So they'll literally look at like what country you're departing from and like the average size of those residents and take that into account. That's so cool you're doing one of the simulators. Yeah, my uncle used to work on those simulators. Like designing, building them. He was in the Air Force for a while and then did like engineering stuff. Probably ask him about it again. Yeah, I saw that one. Looks sick. I mean, you could power it. Oh no, you can't power it through that. Fuck. You have to power it from this side. Oh, there's no like hydraulics that throw you around. That's like the best part though, because then it like you feel like you're in a roller coaster. Okay, so you can do that, and then... Oh yeah, gotta pay for everything. Swap that out. Okay. It's a little bit of a backward solution, but this aligns the TNT on the corner, and then it can drop all the way down, and you saw from that tick warp before, none of the TNT got caught. That was actually a major problem I was having. I didn't think I'd fix that on stream. It's kind of nice. But yeah, a bit more build effort. You gotta like waterlog 2 more blocks now. And also that. Yeah, okay, nice, nice. I think this would also have to be protected, yeah. Okay, so one of the reasons why this farm is just such a pain to work on is like, cool, we've just made that modification, but now we have to apply that to every single one of these dupers. And that's just an absolute pain. Because not all these dupers are the same, like every second row is slightly different, and the ones at the top are also different, and then they're also diagonally offset from each other. So it's like, cool. I think, yeah, it's just so like, I wish there was a way to automate it, you know? Like, sure, you can do like world edit stuff, and that's what I'm gonna use, but it just takes friggin' ages. I'm not gonna manually paste them in one by one either. I just wanna make sure this all works. And if I paste it, see, this is a bit different, but it should still work if I do that. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've fixed these two, I should be able to just do a stack command. Yeah, there we go. So that replaces that. Okay, and that replaced all but this last one. You see, it rarely ever lines up nicely. Okay, so that's now all the top ones fixed. And they look kind of colorful now. They got the leaves. Oh, I gotta do this one as well. But yeah, then the whole pasting it vertically downwards bit is a little bit tricky. So I gotta do what I just did then again. Okay, so we can copy this. Yeah, I'll stack it this ways and then copy it diagonally down, like to the left of the screen. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, now for the fun part. Yeah, thank you. I'm probably gonna finish up in like as we hit the 3-hour mark. So I'll be off shortly after you. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Sorry for all the delays and that. Just had a weird ass week. Okay, so now's the really fun part. Trying to guess the offset I have to stack this out with. It's like be -8. Probably a lot of 8s. I mean, ideally you wouldn't need to guess. You could just go, say. So in this direction, so in the Z direction, it would be 0. And then the TNT goes from 240 to 236. So that's only going down by 4. And then along the X, it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going across 16. That's 16 in the negative direction. So, in theory, that should work. Which it looks like it has, mostly. Very nice, okay. It's just this last one, of course. And this last one's going to leave some residue. So if I say go stack 6, it's going to paste all this extra crap. Which isn't too ideal, but it's not that hard to fix. All you got to do is get rid of that. Jesus. So you can do that, and then if you make a selection, you can then select from this all the way over here, and you just like stack that a bunch. Of course, you want to get rid of this as well. Also tidy that up a bit, and okay. Should be good to just stack that like 7 times. And then yeah, that was always the. Okay, that looks really good. Except yeah, no, that looks fine. yeah. Definitely want to make another save before testing that out. But yeah, what this does now is it makes it like infinitely more safe to use, because yeah, before you saw that TNT was kind of landing on the edge of the block and it was blowing stuff up, but now it gets aligned by the water. Very nice of the water to do that. Yeah, I'm just thinking that should be fine. I haven't like broken anything, because that just seemed way too easy. You know, normally when it's too easy for a reason. Okay, let's try this out. Whoa. Actually looks pretty good. I think I might have made a unobtrusive particles. I thought I made a resource pack for making TNT a bit quieter. Oh, okay, some of them. Okay, it's getting stuck. It looks like this bottom signal is being lost somehow, which is kind of odd. Okay. Oh, it's getting lost in this one. Oh, what? Yeah, that just makes so much sense. Yep. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't there be blocks there? What the hell? Is that gonna be in all of them? No, it doesn't look like it. It's just that one. Yeah, and this one as well. Probably most of these, actually. Okay, I'll just manually place these in. Sometimes it's quicker to just manually do it instead of messing around with commands. So. Very weird though that didn't get cloned. Yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to do, which is probably going to push this stream a bit longer, a bit past midnight for me, is gotta actually hook up the dupers to the fourth layer. So by that I mean each one of these slime blocks represents one of the layers that the TNT gets activated on. So like this layer here, this slime block here is linked for this layer. This slime block kind of tower gets activated all the way down here. And it gets activated by either of these two on this layer. And then this fella, well, this one gets activated by this half, because the player is going from left to right here. So you want to activate the dupers while you're down here. So then by the time you go all the way up this tower and to the top, these dupers have activated and cleared all the chorus for you. So what we want, let's see. We want to activate the dupers while we're on. Okay, so we come here, we go left to right, and we go right to left here, and then we go left to right here. We go left to right. So we need to hook up redstone here somewhere. Which we have. That's interesting. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I already have the logic wired up for the water. Oh, that's so good. I don't have to do anything more. Except attach one of these slime block thingies. Okay. Okay, so how have I done that in the past? So I have basically taken an input from this. See use of a target block here. Taken an input from that and just chucked it onto one of these, carried the signal up. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So we can add a fourth one, I guess. Only issue is this fourth one, it's gonna kind of mess up these timings a bit, because I believe I needed a 8 game tick gap. I think I deleted it all here, but there was an 8 game tick gap between activating the top and bottom, like activating the duper and the latch below it with the trapdoor. And currently, the shortest delay is this one here, where we have 8 game ticks plus another 8 plus 2. Or actually just 16 because it activates there. But yeah, we have 16. So if I wanted another one, it would have to activate like right on this block here, but there isn't really space for that. Unless I go out to the side a bit, which we've already gone out to the side, so whatever. Lol, there actually isn't space for that. Okay. So what we want this to activate is, it could just activate this line, right? It's fine. Because these will end up activating the same thing. So that can just trigger that, okay. Yes, we can just do that and then take off a delay. Okay. So then when you're all the way on the bottom, it will activate just this one. But we do need, because this is like an AND gate system, so we need something to prevent this from being pushed. Which is the whole reason why I have these pistons set up. So if I actually have this push from the top down, and that way this piston can be there to like block it in a way. We can add that, and then just need to find a way to power this, which, I mean, probably gonna add another one here. Yeah, we can add it there and then use glazed terracotta. Boom. Okay. So that's that one hooked up, which is pretty cool. I might just want to move this here. Just so this redstone dust isn't affecting that observer at all. There we go. Okay, and then we just gotta hook this up, so... I don't have that mod that tells you push limit, unless it's on here. It'd probably be a mini HUD thing. Yeah, I don't have that. Okay, so if you like push this up, you'll see it instantly turn off. It'll instantly turn off after a short period of time. And then that retracts that, which then allows this piston to push down at the right time. Okay, only other thing is that this has to activate that, which it will, I believe. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, that's all fine. That looks good. Just need to lower this by a block. Wait, how are these powered? Oh, they're off by default. Okay, we're chilling. Okay, and then we can copy this down a bunch. I guess you don't need it there. Oh, no you do. Oh, actually, that's going to cause other problems. Okay, so this layer now has to go one more down. So just stack it like that, and that should be fine. Okay, so now we need a bit of logic at this layer. This is the actual layer that we want to activate this piston on. So we need some signal that comes out from here. Triggers this. Have that, and then what do we have here? We just have one repeater. Yeah, I guess that's all you need. Also need something that comes down from this top layer and activates that, which we have. So that's what this circuit here does. So that way we're activating the Jupiter when we're on this left half and about to go down and come around to the right. And then we're also activating it when we're on this right and triggering this. Okay, so we've done that and that and that. I think that's everything. Except, you know, testing it and all that. Okay. Wasn't that scuffed to add, actually. It's actually pretty modular to add that on. I thought that'd be way harder. Okay. So I'll make a save, test it, and that will probably be the stream. So productive in the end. After like literally 1.5 hours of just yap. Oh, there is one thing I gotta repair. Gotta add that back in. Okay. Send through a minecart. Bump this up a bit. So you see it's sitting at like 3 MSBT. Oh fuck. Okay. Oh, the water is there. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't render in. And you're like, oh no. It's broken. Okay, we should be able to see the water and TNT in harmony, although that is off. Oh, I know why that is. I didn't reset the initial position correctly. It's going to be off. Yeah, so tick freeze about now. So now that's going to activate this. And there's a bunch of delay here just to like account for the time the water takes. So yeah, that water's now gone down. And we should see the TNT fall. Which it's not. Always nice. And now is it being duped at all up here? Nope, so nothing's happening up there. Cool. That is still up. And doesn't look like anything triggered there. Wait, what? Okay, I think it's a push limit thing. Nope, not a push limit thing. Okay. Well, that's right. Yeah, this has to be triggered as well. You have to power this hopper here along with that. Okay. Very funny. Not a problem. Because yeah, this additional signal is purely for like mode switching and all that. So we can do... Yeah, we want to power that, so I guess just use a bit of dust. So I'll power that, and... How's that? Yeah, that's actually fine. Don't even need that. Okay, so now that should work. Yep, TNT going at the right heights. Now it'll come down here next. There we go. Looks like it's going at the right height as well. And then it'll make its way over here. Oh, I fucking forgot to fix the offset. Oh. Okay, I'll just wait for that to run. I want to test this fully. So. Yeah, see, I've still disabled this. Okay, well that's resetting. I might get up some interesting stuff. See if this wants to run. No, it doesn't want to run. Sick. Yeah, don't worry if it's frozen. That's because I've alt-tabbed. I'm just checking something. Oh, cool. Okay, got that set up. So that's probably finished running by now, as you can tell by the MSBT being a solid 2 and not going up at all. So if we set this to its proper state, which is both of these being spat out, then we can give this one little push. That should activate that again. Yeah, cool. And then keep an eye on the MSBT. It's pretty alright. Get this out from that side and it should switch. There we go. Okay, so that time looks like no TNT was making it all the way down, which is a little bit weird. Not sure where the minecart went. Okay, so that's just sent a signal here, which has pushed this piston thing all the way up, which has triggered that, and sent a signal here, which should be activating these dupers. And it seems like their delay is completely cooked, which is kind of dumb. Why would be doing that? So what that was? That'll be this third one. Oh no, that'll be this first one here. Yeah, maybe it bugged out for some reason. Okay, I'll look into that. But those like timing changes, it's just a matter of swapping around like the repeaters or something. It's not like a huge deal. Yeah, so basically that will... I should activate the fourth layer now. Give it a sec. Yeah, okay. Hopefully the TNT is activating at this layer because I just designed it. Let's see, so we have this TNT guy here. Yeah, I think I know what's going on. Seems to be that I need to add a bit more delay to all of these because there's some inherent delay in this like transmission line here. Because of this I added. Oh wait, that can make sense. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because yeah, originally there was none of this delay. Okay. Well, I want to write that down on a sign. Let's see the earlier version, and then yeah. So what was happening is like we worked out that the drop time between like the TNT duping and then the trapdoor activating is like 8 game ticks, like these here. But we added this extra delay earlier, so the machine has time to switch modes, like switch which half it's going to activate on, in time. But this delay kind of messed up these timings, so probably gonna remove this delay, figure out a way to activate this switch earlier, and then all will be good. But I'll have to leave that to another live stream / probably not live stream because I'll work on it myself. And yeah, because it's like midnight now, so gonna call it there. It's a bit of a shorter stream, but kind of got some stuff on. Also, the playlist just ended. You can tell because the music stopped and there's no icon playing in the top right corner. So that's actually pretty solid timing. Definitely a sign. There was actually one little thing I wanted to show you though. I can work out how to switch screens because my, there we go, keybinds are working now. Nope, this one? Yeah, only one of my keybinds is working. Okay. So there's this small bit of code, and this code runs a simulator. Trying to figure out. Wait, how is this? Why is that there? That's definitely not meant to be there. That's like C code. This makes a bunch of threads to do like a simulator. But the actual code is in this file. So all this design here for working out the spacing of the flowers and when to blow them up, how often to blow them up, what height to blow them up at, all the ways we can blow them up. That was all calculated using data collected from this simulation. And you might notice the syntax is a bit different. That's because it's done in a programming language called Julia. And I've ran it here using this command, and it's like, hey, welcome to the simulator, blah, blah, blah. How long do you want to run your simulation for? And just, you know, because we're live streaming, I'm just going to do like a minute. And that in the background is going to run a little simulator for us, little simulation. So here we have a bunch of constant values. It's basically just for the simulation because I'm representing a kind of 2 sub-chunk area in the Minecraft world and simulating all the random ticks that occur in that point. And so you need like block IDs and all that. So we have like a function here. This is really simple. It's just taking in the runtime, doing that there. This actually starts the simulation. So we want to log everything that goes on. So how many random ticks are occurring, how many chorus we've simulated, and then we're assigning, that probably doesn't have to be in 64, but anyway, and like the growth time. And then we're creating 2 heat maps. So the heat map here is just an array, and it's determined by the size of the world and how long you're running the simulation for, because each minute we're taking a snapshot of the world to work out the average growth of the chorus flower over time. So it's actually a 4-dimensional heat map. You see here, the heat map just finished running, and we got some nice errors because I haven't updated the module. Anyway, we have heat maps pre-planned. Not those ones. These ones. So these are really cool because they show you how many flowers have generated over time. So you'll see here the way they grow, and on the right is a kind of scale So it's a logarithmic scale. So the black colors mean there's a 100% chance of you finding a chorus flower there at that position. And the, whatchamacallit, kind of lighter white colors means you have a 0% chance. Or, 10 to the minus 7. So you'll see here, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get chorus flowers growing kind of a few blocks up. But then as time progresses, so minute 4, 5, 6, you can see it spreads out a lot more. If we skip to maybe like minute 22, you see, because there's no colored blocks down here, it's saying that it's essentially guaranteed that all the flowers have grown up past this point, and they're at least at like this layer 3 here. And this is all really good, useful data to know, because there's some situations where I'm like, what's a valid amount of time to wait before sending down the water? Because the water actually can't break chorus flowers. It can break the plant, but not the flower. So if you still have a flower left at layer 1 or even layer 2 in some situations, you need to know that after waiting, say 20, 24 minutes, that flower is definitely gone, because otherwise it's going to block the water and you're going to run into issues. So say we waited, like we didn't wait as long. Like even at minute 12, we have chorus flowers really low down. So you wouldn't want to push the water out then, because you're going to run into problems. And then if we look at minute 31, we have this kind of growth pattern, and this isn't a fully accurate heat map because I just ran this over a single minute. But if you ran this for a very long time, you'll see these edges all go up to the top, and it's very, very unlikely for flowers to generate that high and that wide, but it is possible. It's just I haven't ran the simulation for long enough. Normally I'd run it overnight for many hours and get super accurate data. And I also made one for the actual plant themselves. So at 0 minutes, you would have no plants generated, of course. But after 1 minute, you'll have some kind of, the flower might grow up to the side and then go across or something, or just grow vertically. And you'll see it just spaces out more and more over time. So here's an example of a longer simulation. You can see a much nicer gradient. And we have some of these super rare plants that generate really high. But you can see, after about 15 minutes, it's basically fully grown. And that's what it looks like after half an hour. So you see there's a massive black region in here, which is where a majority of our flowers are. And that's where we're detonating the TNT, is at this kind of height. You can see it around 10 blocks is where we have, I should show you the flower one. You can see it at about 10 blocks is where you have a majority of the darker colors. So there's that. And then there's also, it also generates the data to an Excel file. But there's also, you can run a separate program that gives you a kind of 3-dimensional view of it. Which I wonder if I could run in here. I have to get out of Julia. Yeah, okay, I have to do a bunch of installs. I don't really want to do that right now. But yeah, you can see from that video that there's also like a 3D representation. So, oh my god, I just opened so many files. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, so basically the simulation starts by creating get rid of that. It creates a little world that's world height, which is whatever it was, 23 blocks. And then it starts simulation. It's like, hey, we're starting. And it runs through all the commands, does some optimization stuff at the end, and then finishes. And then the actual world clock, I guess, that goes on is kind of this logic in here, which is a little bit complicated, but essentially we start the world by filling it all with air, and then we literally place a block. We place an endstone block at this position, and then we place a chorus flower on top of it, like just like you would in game, but we're doing that with this code here. And we say we have one alive flower, and we run the code that grows this one flower until either all the flowers are dead, or we reach the end of the time, which is 31 minutes. So this way, if a chorus flower grows up much quicker, say in like 10 minutes or 15, then we can stop the simulation at that position earlier, and we can move on to the next flower. So that way it's not running longer than it needs to. So what we're doing here is what this comment says, which is we're simulating 3 random ticks. So a chorus flower grows when it gets random ticked, and it grows in kind of 3 different ways. So first of all, we have the random tick, and then if the chorus flower isn't dead, then we run the code that ticks it, and then we can have a look at what this random tick code does. So this here is just updating the heat map. This is taking a snapshot every minute, which is 7,200. Wait, no, it doesn't seem right. Oh yeah, no, that is right, because there's more random ticks in a second, yeah. So that's how we keep track of time, how many random ticks we've generated. As we know, there's 60 random ticks every second. And then we have 2 subchunks, that would be 6 random ticks every second, which is what this is here. Yeah, so if we go down, we can see what a random tick does. And it basically gets the age of because we know the block we've ticked is a chorus flower. So we get the age of that. We check the block above it. If it's at world height, it's obviously not going to grow, which is important because it can actually grow to that height even in the simulation. And then we have stuff about the block ID. So making sure like the block above it has to be air, and the block itself can't be too old. And then the way it grows is really interesting. So you have this check vertical growth, and there's like a bunch of conditions for it, and this is all like from the code. So there's like kind of this random check here. Depending on like if there's endstone below it, it'll have like a greater chance to grow. It tries to grow in like 1 of 4 directions. See, it has this horizontal growth. If it can't grow vertically like this, then it'll try and grow horizontally. And if it can't grow horizontally, then it'll actually just die, which is kind of sad. And then everything below here is kind of just like helper functions. But yeah, you see like after trying to go vertically then horizontally, it'll die. Really sad. There's more helper functions. And yeah, this is just for like data logging. So this is at the end of the simulation. Well, actually it could be every minute. We basically update our 4-dimensional heat map with all our data. So we have all this stuff that goes on. And then there's this I'm really kind of happy with this, this function. So a chorus plant like object, I guess, it's symmetrical around like every 45 degrees. So what I mean by that is, so it's gonna like grow up and it's going to try growing like in any of these 4 directions. And then each of those 4 directions is going to like branch off in its own way. But you can look at it as just like one single slice in this direction and then copy that 8 or 7 more times around itself. And that will also give you a chorus flower. So like the same logic is happening in each quadrant. So really, every chorus flower we get and we simulate it, we're actually simulating 8 smaller kind of chorus flowers, and we can average all those values together and copy it across each of the heat maps. Because as you might have noticed, is that each of these heat maps here is, even though the data is all random, because of this average across each octant, the data is symmetrical, as you can see. There's a lot of symmetry here. See, like all the colors are the same on each half. So that's kind of what's going on there. So this is just, yeah, it's taking all the different 8 pairs of coordinates that are like 45 degrees symmetrical from each other. It's averaging them and then placing that average value back into the heat map. And then simply just saving it and exporting it. And yeah, so that's kind of how that code works. I might go through it in the actual video, but that's just like a sneak peek, I guess. Kind of cool. Yeah. definitely going to be stopping the stream there. We're at a nice number, 3 hours 31. Thank you all for the support on the recent video as well. It's definitely a filler video, but also definitely there to help reduce the amount of comments that I was getting on the first version of that tree farm, because there was quite a few mistakes with that. Yeah, I'll probably see you in a video next time. I don't know if I'll do another live stream for a while. That kind of track. Yeah, see you next time.